Hello everyone. So today we'll be talking about Flexbox once again, and today we'll be taking some tests as well to test your Flexbox knowledge. We've learned about Flexbox in last few videos. Um, by now we understand that Flexbox is very important. Let's uh, sort of recap. Flexbox is a one-dimensional layout method for arranging items in rows or columns, which are the axes. I've already talked about this. So there's a main axis and a cross axis. For row, the main axis is left and right, and for the column, the main axis is top and bottom. All right. So it's only one dimensional. We can't go uh, left and right and top and bottom all at once, but we'll be getting only one dimension at once. All right, so let's see some examples. So these are all Flexbox example. This is the whole container is Flexbox here. I guess yes, the section, the whole section is Flexbox, and yes, as we apply display flex, they all they were in column first, but now they are in row. Why is that? We didn't mention row here. By default, the flex direction is row. Yes. So yes, this is the model once again. This is the main axis for row. This is the cross axis for column, right? And let's go ahead. Columns or rows, yes, flex direction, column or row. Wrapping, yes, we've already talked about wrapping as well. So wrapping is basically wrapping things uh, inside a specified area, like here flex 200 and flex wrap. When it's added after 4 line, after 200 pixels, there will be a new line, and all of them will be looking better. Look at this. This is very jumbled and we can't see much. All right, so flex flow shorthand, yes, we've already talked about this as well. This is a combination of flex direction and flex wrap. In short, we can write flex flow and then we can mention row or column, wrap or no wrap, whatever. So yes, flex sizing, we've already talked about this as well. Flex 1, 2, and you can specify pixel as well. All right, now we're targeting display flex and we're aligning item center. We are justifying content space around. So justify content, we target the main axis. The main axis is here row. So justifying content space around. It is using the space around all of these. And align item center is cross axis centered, meaning up and down. It is centered equal space at top and bottom. All right, so yes, we can use align self. I've showed you guys this one as well. We can specify one of the element of the flex box and align self flex end. We can change the order as well. We've seen this in the last video as well. Nested flex boxes, yes, this one we have not talked about yet, but this is very common and sorry about that. We'll be using this kind of nested flex box all the time, which means, all right, we can see properly here. Let's go ahead in the HTML CSS file. All right, so this is a flex box, and now we can create another flex box inside this one as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Div, and let's say Let's give it a class name of demo and target it here. Demo by 200 pixels with 200 pixels and background color. Let's go for cyan, and we will be creating some of these divs. We can copy paste it like this, or we can use alt shift and down arrow to copy it as well. Let's go open with live server so we can see our live server. Okay, this is not what I wanted. What happened? Okay, I was zoomed in a little bit more than I thought. All right, so in the Flexbox we can use gap. Let's go ahead and do that. Gap of 20 pixel. I've talked about this as well. So we have a gap here, and let's go ahead and make one of these Flexbox as well. Let's not use Flexbox. Let's go for Flexbox like this. Yes. So we don't want the same class name to clash each other. Flexbox. Let's create display flex. So this is a Flexbox as well. Let's keep some paragraph tag here. Let's say hey 2 hey 3. Yes. So this is now a Flexbox as well. And as you can see, it is by default going in flex direction row. Let's target the p tag, not the Flexbox, and increase the font size as we're having hard time seeing this. 20 pixels. 30 pixels. Yeah. Okay, so this is now a Flexbox as well. So this is a Flexbox inside a Flexbox. The outer one, the div, is a Flexbox, and the inner one, this is also a Flexbox. So that's what it was talking about, nested Flexboxes. So we might need a Flexbox inside another Flexbox sometimes, because let's say we now want this hey text to be like I don't know, flex direction column. Let's say flex direction column, and now as you can see it's flex directed column. Now let's set a gap of 30 pixels, and as you can see the gap is working fine. We can center the div horizontally as well. So to do that we are now in flex direction column, so we need to target the main axis now, and the main axis is targeted by align items center. As you can see, it is now centered. So we might need Flexbox inside a Flexbox, and then inside another Flexbox. We'll be using it in advanced topics, in advanced cases later on, not now. Let's say we have an example here: first article, second article, and the third article have Flexbox inside Flexbox, and they have some other parts like paragraph, like us we've created here. It's pretty much the same, but we can argue it's not the same. But yeah, the example is the same. All right, let's say we so if you want to create a Flexbox inside another Flexbox, it's no big deal. Just add the class name, add the display flex here, and then you would be able to work on it just like previous Flexboxes. There are no differences. You can use justify content, you can use align items, you can use flow, I mean what flow, I forgot. Flex flow, I think. Yeah, flex flow, or anything basically. I Let's go ahead and say this example. So section, article, div, button. So they're creating a nested flexbox like us. We could create another flexbox in here. If you need it, you can create it. Like we needed a flexbox here to center these items and provide a gap. So we've created one. No big deal. All right. So let's go ahead and see, test your skills. Yes, I've already opened this up here. So we've already talked about Flexbox for some time now. Let's go ahead and do some tests. Okay, so task one, I will be linking this task in the description. You can go ahead and uh, take these tasks yourself and try to mimic these, or you can try it yourself as well. You've learned Flexbox by now, I believe. Yes, so in this task, the list items are navigation for site. They should be laid out as a row with an equal amount of space between each item. So we know how to do this. You should be pausing the video right now and try to do this yourself, as this is pretty easy. So we are in the Flexbox part of this example, so we have to use display flex. It is no brainer. So just use display flex and think about how you can space out a row, which is by default flex selection of the Flexbox. All right, so pause the video and go ahead and do that. All right, if you couldn't do it by now, let's go ahead and do this display flex. Yes, and then we do justify content center. Sorry, my bad, not center. Space between. I've been talking about centering a div too much now. I even forgot what I was doing. Okay, so now we did space between and an equal amount of space. Okay, uh, does it look the same? I don't think so. So we need to do space around. Does it look the same? No, not really. Let's go ahead and do evenly. No, it doesn't look even close. I think this is the closest we can get, as they're, I think, a bit different in size, but I think it's same. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for task 2. All right, in this task the list items are all different sizes, but we want them to be displayed as 3 equal sized columns. So we know this, so they're in column now. So what we'll have to do, you should always try these yourself first. Go ahead and pause the video and try it yourself. Let's go ahead, if you couldn't do it by now, let's go ahead and use display flex. So we did use display flex. Let's add flex 1. It is pretty much the same, I think. Yeah, yes, it's the same. Is it the same? Yeah, I think so. Let's try flex 2. Oh, it's the same. All right, so let's go ahead and on to the next one. Final result should be like this. Okay, so pause the video and try it yourself. As I've been saying, you need to practice out these yourself so you can get better at this. If you couldn't do it, let's go ahead and add display flex. Justify content center, align items 20. So if you are trying to center a div, this is the div or the child div. Yes, this one. So we need to center this. So if you're trying to center a div, how to do it? Make the parent div, which is this one. Make the parent div flexbox by using display flex, and then use justify content center, which will target the main axis of display flex. By default, the flex direction is row, so justify content will target the main axis, which is left and right. As you can see, if I cut out the align item center, it is just centered left and right, not up and bottom. So align items target the up and bottom or the cross axis. For row, cross axis is up and down. So align item center will target the child div and center it. So this whole thing is a flexbox, and justified content center, aligned item center. So by using display flex, justifying content center, aligned item center, you can uh, center any div, basically any child div. All right, so let's go ahead and go to task 4. So it's pretty much the same. You should try it yourself. Pause the video and try it yourself. If you couldn't, let's go ahead and create display flex. Where did that go? Okay, display flex. So we have some overflowing issue. We need to use flex wrap. All right, I think it's pretty much the same. Only difference is I think it's taking up the whole space, which is not possible in our case, I think, but I'm not sure. If you know this, how to do this, comment down below. I will not be doing this. I might do this in some other video, but you should try it yourself. And if you can do it, it's great, but if you can't, it's pretty much the same. It's fine. As you're beginning, it's fine. It's no big deal. So we've practiced some flex properties today. We'll be practicing some more flexbox in the next video, where I'll be introducing you with this game, Flexbox Froggy. I really like this game. You should try it as well. So this is the child, or not child, this is the parent div apparently. So display flex is already in used, used. So all we need to do is justify content flex end. So all you need to do is take the frog to the green leaf where he can go. All right, so this is a flex box, the whole thing. Now I want my child element to be at the end of the main axis. So we target main axis by justify content. Let's go for center to demonstrate it. We can do center as well, but we want it to be at end, flex end. So where the flex box is ending. So you go next, and then we can try this again, but I will not be doing this today. I'll be doing it some other day. You should go ahead and try this as well. I will link both this test and Flexbox Froggy test as well, but you should be trying it yourself. If you can't, or if you have some issues, we'll be solving them, and we'll be talking about them in the next video. We've learned a lot about Flexbox. I will be making 1 or 2 videos at most about Flexbox, and then we'll jump to grid, and after that some more basic CSS and HTML, and then we'll be jumping to JavaScript. JavaScript, I really love JavaScript. JavaScript is a proper programming language. HTML and CSS are not programming language actually. HTML is a markup language, and CSS is a cascading style sheet. It is used for style for the most part. All right, so try this yourself. This is a pretty cool game. I've played it a few times. I really like it. We have CSS grid garden as well. We'll be doing it after we've learned grid, but for now go ahead and try to go for level 24 or more than 20 at least. You can search the syntax if you want, like how things work, but you should be able to do it if you've watched my previous videos and understand main axis, cross axis, and yeah. All right, let's not go further. Let's conclude the video. Thank you very much. I will be seeing you guys on the next video. Thank you.